All right, as you can see, what is that right there? I have about 77 hours in, so I think I've got enough playtime to talk about Dragon Age the Veilguard. Is it Game of the Year worthy? I don't think so. Could it be your Game of the Year? Absolutely. 77 hours in, I had a blast. Now, are there flaws? Of course, and we'll go through them categorically. But as a whole, new player, new-ish. I played the old ones. I didn't finish them. I didn't have a great time. It was a long time ago. I'm going to go back and play them. I had a blast. I described Dragon Age the Veilguard as extremely casual. And I think that holds true up until the end. The RPG mechanics are very light. The dialogue mechanics are very light. They're very superficial, surface level. They don't go super deep. Some of them do. Your romance kind of goes deep-ish, sorta. And the other NPCs romance each other a little bit. But nothing is super deep, and I think it works. I really do. Pros, the loot system. My God. Some people don't like it. I've, seen some comments. People prefer something a little more in-depth, a lot more customization. I do agree it does need some, hey, let me change the color of my stuff. But picking up a duplicate item and having it immediately feed in to the item you already have and raise the rarity, chef's kiss. Yes. I don't have to go sell the pointless weapons that I have. Yes. Stop giving limits on storage, okay? If there's a bunch of loot, there shouldn't be a storage limit, period. That is dumb. You're meant to pick up stuff, so let people pick up everything, okay? It's beautiful how they do it. I've got a purple, epic weapon. I just found the same one. Bam, orange legendary. It is so nice. I love it. Give more of that loot system, please. The art style, again, this seems to be an issue with some people. It doesn't look hyper realistic like it used to. That's okay. Hyper realistic games kind of age quick. I was talking to my buddy about this, and games that try to look hyper realistic show their age a lot quicker than something like Dishonored. Look at Dishonored and Dishonored 2. They are very intentional art styles that are not meant to look hyper realistic, and they still look good. You can tell playing it, oh, this isn't supposed to look like a real person. And it still plays well. It doesn't make it so jarring. But then if you go back and try to play a game that was meant to look hyper realistic and it's more than, 7, 8 years old, this isn't looking so hot. So I love the art style. The bright, vibrant colors, yeah, it might tone it down a bit. You might say, oh, I wanted something a lot darker, a lot grittier. I think people just want the Elden Ring aspect. I think they want these games to look like Elden Ring because, it's supposed to be all dark and gritty. I guess, but does it really take it out of you like that? Does it really interrupt your gameplay? If you see a bunch of purple, does it really take you out of the moment and say, this just isn't dark enough for me? I don't like the tone it's giving off. I didn't experience that. But again, I also don't care. A lot of the things that bug people, I just don't care about. I'm there to have a good time. I'm there to have fun. And I had fun. First off, I played as a warrior. I'm going to go back and play as a mage. The drop kick is one of the earliest moves you get, and it is one of the most satisfying moves. I'm glad that's the first ability they gave you. That will never not get old. Oh my God, it's a little mini boss. Oh, that dude's got a lot of health. Let me drop kick him off the cliff so I don't have to deal with him. It is so much fun. If you've seen any clips, it feels better than it looks. It already looks cool. It feels amazing. I love it. The combat itself, the ability web, being able to specialize. You can have 3 different specializations with each class. I went the necromancer route for the warrior. So a lot of my abilities deal necromancy? Necrotic, there we go. They deal necrotic damage as well as leech health. And as you kind of play, you pick up items that can boost necrotic damage or boost your health leech. So as you get more loot, you'll start to see, oh, this armor set and these weapons contribute to fire damage. And one of my abilities is every time I kill someone with a normal weapon with my sword, it lights on fire. So it'll stay on fire for the next 60 seconds. and that does extra damage, and then these armor pieces boost that fire damage. You have a lot of freedom to play how you want. Now, again, it might not be in-depth enough for some people. I loved it. I wasn't looking for a deep RPG to sink 500 hours into. We still have Baldur's Gate 3. We're set. The team tactics of pairing abilities, I liked it. It reminded me of the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which if you haven't played, go play that. People wrote that game off because they're like, oh, Avengers sucked. This one's going to suck. No, Guardians of the Galaxy, that game is great. Awesome story. The team comboing with their abilities, it flows really well. Same here in Veilguard. It felt good. It pauses the gameplay so you can take a second and, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, these two combo out to get me a super. Great. Feels great. Works really well. I love it. Sometimes in combat, you might discover that even though this character applies an effect, and this one detonates that effect, the enemy might cancel out that primer. Every once in a while, I'd hit an enemy with like some special defense. And so if I tried to hit him with the priming or the apply ability, it would immediately go away. So for that enemy, I couldn't use the combo supers with my teammates. So that adjustment on the fly is like, oh, okay, I got to be a little more careful because I can't use that ability. The world design I'm a fan of. Somebody said, I think it was the IGN review, it felt like playing through an Overwatch map. I question some of these reviewers, which you should, of course. Reviewers just like this one, it's an opinion. So I'm sure to someone it might have felt like an Overwatch map. I couldn't get that. I don't know where they got that, but hey, to each their own. I love the world design. Each world feels very different. The blight, the infection, you can feel throughout every realm. It's clear that it's there, but each world does feel distinct enough. Oh, okay, this one's more of like a forestry, elven type city. This dock town is very different than like Arlethan Forest or Treviso, which is like this night. It almost feels like Halloween the entire time in Treviso. I love it. Now, you knew it was coming. I didn't bury the lead, the writing. Yes, it is, like everything else, very surface level. One thing that games can do very well is expect and have faith in the player that they are smart enough to pick up context clues. So it's like, show, don't tell. Show the story that you're trying to depict, and the player, if they're paying attention, will pick up on it. Like, oh, interesting. Again, context clues. The game is very in your face. Let's say it and reiterate it just in case the player was, I don't know, looking at the dog barking at the door, or maybe they got a text message and we need to say it again. It is very, hey, look at this, just in case you forgot 10 seconds ago. Before I go on talking about Dragon Age the Veilguard, whether I hated it, liked it, all of the pros and cons, go down and comment and subscribe if you want to see more. I've got a lot coming out soon. I'm really on a YouTube grind, and it's been going great. Like, I'm enjoying myself. I love making these. It's been incredible. I just passed 3,500 subscribers, so that's like massive. The growth in the past couple months has been crazy, so I appreciate all of you. And let me know what you think of Dragon Age. Is this one of those games that really broke your heart and you're like, I loved Origins and Inquisition, and this is just such a departure? Tell me why. I want to hear it. Or if you loved it like I do, tell me why. I want to hear about it. And let me know what you're drinking. Right now, I've got a couple drinks. I've got coffee, water, and a zero sugar Baja Blast. You might be young. It feels like it's not for as mature an audience as previous entries might have been. I feel like the game itself was trying to capture on a broader audience. So like, hey, again, super casual, extremely casual. Anyone can hop in. Anyone can understand this. You can follow along. You're going to enjoy the gameplay. I get it. At times, it is a bit like, huh? Like, it's moments. It's not the entire thing. I know the narrative has been like, oh my God, the writing is atrocious. It's really not that bad. It's more like moments. Like, you'll have a good string of, okay, the writing's decent. Nothing crazy, nothing to write home about. Pun not intended. And then there will be a moment of like, that's okay. That was kind of cringe. Or like, really? Is that the best response? But then you'll have another string of a couple hours of good dialogue. Like, it happens here and there. It is not the defining feature of the game. Don't think that you're buying a $70 writing garbage can. It's not that. It's moments here and there. If that takes you out of the gameplay, if that takes you out of the story, maybe not for you. Again, I didn't care. I was interested in the story and the moments of cringy dialogue. It was like, okay, sure. Like, moving on, you know? It's kind of focus on the good, take in the good, leave the bad behind type thing. Like, you see it's there, but if you don't focus on it and you just continue to play, cool, on to the next great thing. One thing I really did enjoy is the fact that you can be 25 levels under a boss and still beat them. There are some hefty side bosses that are optional. Now, they help. If you fight them before the end, they definitely help. They give you some good gear, like the unique gear you'll see. It's red bordered. It's kind of like, okay, legendary orange is the best gear. And then the red unique gear will have these really bizarre abilities for certain situations. So you want like an overall orange build, but then this helmet might take away all of your defense, but then half damage that you take is replenished as health or something like that. They've got some odd abilities that you can really get crazy with. I know there's a combo between a mask and I believe it's a ring, where every ability you cast takes away health, but then every time you get low on health, it heals you 100%, so you can just keep doing that. You can do some fun stuff. It is a very light RPG in terms of all, if not most of your choices all kind of end up going the same way. There are some differences. You can choose, of course, to romance somebody different. In the end battle, spoilers, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but in the end battle, as you're planning, you choose where your companions go. You say, you know, you go handle that, you go handle that. Depending on those choices changes the ending, as well as some dialogue options. So there are some actually impactful choices near the end. Everything in between besides the romance is just, okay, that might change a tiny bit of the story. Or you make this choice here so it kind of makes a different order out of what you have to do, but they all end up at the same end. It's not super deep, like I said. Everything's very surface level. I can't gush enough about the combat. There was something about throwing and charging up your shield like Captain America and then bouncing it off 8 enemies. If you play as a warrior and level up your shield all the way in terms of the actual shield and then your abilities, I had my shield doing fully charged, bouncing between enemies like 9,000 damage per shot. It was beautiful. And then you can imbue it to make it explosive. It's just so cool. It feels good. That's the thing. That's what I really look for in gaming. I don't care about like super deep writing. I don't care if, again, the world looks a certain way or whatever. I want to feel that joyous euphoria as like we had as a kid. That's why people say, oh, gaming just doesn't hit different, because back then as a kid, like everything was enjoyable. You didn't have all these adult worries and all these responsibilities. You could just enjoy the game. That's what I'm looking for. And this game gave me that. I'm playing it on my Steam Deck in bed. I can't wait to play it after I get off work. I'm looking forward to every second I'm in the game. And it's one of the few games I actually want to platinum. I'm 4 achievements away. So I'm going to go back in, get those 4 achievements. It was just so easy to play. That's another thing. Destiny 2 kind of gives me that same feeling. It's very easy to hop back into Destiny and like reacclimate to controls and then, all right, I'm good to go. This feels the same way. It was very easy to jump between this. I play Rocket League or Call of Duty with buddies every once in a while, or like PGA golf. And then I'd hop back into this and be like, all right, let's get back to it. Performance on PC, it ran like a dream for me. For some reason, I don't know if anybody else has this issue. Well, I mean, it wasn't really an issue. It was just odd. Usually when you boot a game, it defaults to your optimized settings. It'll read, oh, you've got a 4080, so you can run it at, you know, high or ultra, whatever. It defaulted me to low, which was weird because I've got a 4070. So I like bumped it up all the way and then it was, oh, okay, this looks great. So that was kind of odd. It defaulted me to a low setting. So I'm not sure what that was about. And then on Steam Deck, it defaulted to low, but I was able to play it at medium settings with the exact same, like frame rate didn't drop or anything. Of course, you're getting that drop in quality, but you're also playing on a different screen. So Again, if I'm playing something on Steam Deck, obviously I'm not looking for, I want 8K, 180 hertz. Like, you're playing it so you can play it mobile. If you're looking for, a good resolution, a high frame rate, play it on your $10,000 TV. That's one of those things. Oh my God, the frames. Oh, you can only play it on low. Yeah, it's a mobile PC. Why are you trying to get performance out of this thing? You're not. You're playing it for the convenience of being able to sit on the toilet and fight elves. Like, come on. Now, me personally, I'm sort of a completionist. Kinda, depending on the game. So when I got to the final mission, again, this isn't a spoiler, but it will give you a big in-your-face, this is a point of no return. Like, it'll even tell you before you start the mission. You can't go back if you start this mission, right? And when you start it, it'll say, oh, your companions haven't gone through their own personal journeys, so they might struggle during this fight. And that immediately I went, oh no, I'm done. I'm going back and doing every side mission for all my companions. So I went back and made sure every single companion had Hero of the Veilguard status, which means they've gone through their personal development journey. They know who they are. They know what they're doing. And it gives them a legendary piece of gear. Upgraded all of my companions' gear, upgraded all of mine as much as I could, and made sure I love being overleveled, going in beefed up. And so we went into that last level like, all right, every single companion's ready to go, and I'm jacked, so let's hit it. It was great. I know I'm gushing a lot. Where does the game sit for me? I'm going to go get those 4 achievements right now. I'm very comfortable, personally, giving it like an 8.5. It's not 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 like I see God of War Ragnarok, right? But it was so much fun. And that is a huge thing for me. Again, writing needs work. Maybe the tonal shift isn't for you. Maybe you want more in-depth this or that. Okay, cool. I don't care about any of that as much as just having fun with the gameplay. And the gameplay was a blast. I loved it. So solid 8.5 out of 10. I love it. What do you think about it? Let me know. Do you hate it? I know there's a lot of people hating on it, but I know I've heard quite a bit of people who are loving it too. So that's good to hear that people haven't let all the negativity out there get to them. But I want to know what you think. Now, if you want to see some early Steam reviews of Dragon Age the Veilguard within like the first 12 hours of it coming out, go right here. You'll see that. I did cover some Steam reviews like 12 or 13 hours after it came out. They were very entertaining. It was really funny. So go check that out and you have a good rest of your day.